Hare Krishna. Today is the appearance day of Srila Shyamananda Prabhu. On this auspicious occasion, we will hear a very wonderful pastime of Srila Shyamananda Prabhu. Srila Shyamananda Prabhu was a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya. He was a contemporary of the great Acharyas Srinivasacharya and Narottam Das Thakur. The three were eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya, incarnated to spread his teachings after the Lord's disappearance. They studied under Srila Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan. They created a resurgence of Lord Chaitanya's Bhakti movement in Bengal and Orissa, where it was flagging in the period after the Lord had left the planet. Sri Shyamananda was born on the Purnima, full moon day of the month of Chaitra, in a place called Dharendra Bahadurpuram, Utkala, Orissa. Noticing the auspicious moment of his birth, it was predicted that he would be a great personality. His parents, Sri Krishna Mandal and Srimati Sri Durika, had lost many sons and daughters before his birth. So they named him Dukhi, considering such a name would prevent any impending danger. He was a brilliant child and quickly became proficient in Vedic scriptures. After he heard the pastimes of Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, he decided to dedicate his life to their service. With the permission of his parents, he went to a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya called Srila Hriday Chaitanya in the place called Ambika Kalna in Bengal to get initiation as a disciple and study the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Srila Hriday Chaitanya accepted him as his disciple and named him Dukhi Krishnadas. Seeing his keen, intelligent and service attitude, Srila Hriday Chaitanya thought it best for him to study the scriptures under Srila Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan. Srila Jiva Goswami was happy to accept the disciple of Srila Hriday Chaitanya under his tutelage. Sri Dukhi Krishnadas carefully served Jiva Goswami and studied scriptures of the Goswamis under the guidance of Srila Jiva Goswami. The three exalted students would together study the literature of the Goswamis. Krishnadas requested Srila Jiva Goswami for a special service. Sri Jiva instructed him to sweep the forest grove of Seva Kunj every day. From that day, he began to carry out this service with great pleasure. He felt that his life had become successful. As he swept, tears flowed from his eyes. Sometimes he would loudly chant the names of Sri Sri Radha Govinda, and sometimes he would become inert while remembering their pastimes. Sometimes he would put the broom, which was full of dust, on his head. Even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva prayed to receive a little of this dust of Vrindavan on their heads. The Lord of Vrindavan and his consort were very pleased with the service of Krishnadas and desired to grant him their darshan. One day, while Krishnadas was cleaning the kunja, his heart filled with love. Just then he happened to notice a very beautiful ankle bracelet lying in the dust. He picked it up, touched it to his head, and then bound it in the corner of his upper cloth. "I'll give it to whomever it belongs to when they come to look for it," he thought. The next morning, they were quite shocked when they noticed that Srimati Radharani's left ankle bracelet was missing. Radharani explained, "Last night when I was dancing in the kunj, it must have fallen off. Please look for it and bring it back to me, whoever finds it." When the gopis came to search for the bracelet, Vishakha Devi noticed Krishnadas sweeping the grove. She asked him, Have you found an ankle bracelet here? Dukhi Krishnadas was so mesmerized by her sweet words and radiant form, which was like that of a demigoddess descended from heaven, that he simply stared at her dumbfounded. Again she asked him, "Have you found an ankle bracelet here?" Dukhi Krishna made obeisances and humbly replied, "Yes, I found it. Who are you?" "I am a cowherd girl." "Where do you stay?" "In this village." "Is it your ankle bracelet?" "No, it isn't mine. It belongs to a new bride in our house." "How did it get here?" "She came here yesterday to pick flowers and it must have fallen off then." "All right, then please tell her she can come and collect it from me." "No, you can just give it to me." "No, I want to give it to her personally." After a few moments, Vishakha Devi returned with Srimati Radha Thakurani, who stood in the shade of the foot of a large tree. Vishakha called out to Krishnadas, "Bhakta, the person who lost her ankle bracelet has come to receive it." Dukhi Krishnadas completely forgot himself while gazing, even though it was from some distance, at the unparalleled brilliant splendor of Sri Vrishabhanunandini. In great joy, he handed the ankle bracelet to Vishakha. At this point, Dukhi Krishnadas could sense that something very profound was about to take place. His eyes filled with tears, and he fell down on the ground to offer his obeisances. In great ecstasy, he rolled in the dust. Vishakha then told him, "O best of the devotees, our Sakhi wants to give you a benediction to express her gratitude." Dukhi Krishnadas saw the holy water of Radha Kund before him. After offering his obeisances, he immersed himself in the waters. Thus he attained a transcendently beautiful feminine form. Coming out of the sacred kunda, he stood before Vishakha Devi and offered prayers. Taking this forest Sakhi by the hand, Vishakha approached Srimati Radha Thakurani, and the new Sakhi fell down at her lotus feet. Then Srimati Radharani decorated her forehead with tilak using the ankle bracelet and the kumkum of her lotus feet. "This tilak will remain on your forehead. From today, you will be known as Shyamanand. Now you can go." After she said this, Srimati Radha Thakurani and her Sakhis were no longer to be seen. Dukhi Krishnadas's trance broke, and he found himself as before, alone and in his male body, yet with the tilak applied by Srimati Radharani still on his forehead. Being overwhelmed with emotion, he repeated over and over, "What have I seen? What have I seen?" while tears of ecstasy rolled down from his cheeks. After reciting prayers hundreds and hundreds of times to Sri Radhika, he finally returned to Srila Jiva Goswami. Sri Jiva Prabhu was struck with wonder when he saw the brilliant new design of tilak on his young student's forehead. After offering his prostrated obeisances, Dukhi Krishnadasa's eyes brimming with tears recounted at Jiva Goswami's request his experience in Seva Kunj. Hearing of his great fortune, Sri Jiva was elated, but cautioned Dukhi, "Don't reveal this blessed even to anyone. From today, just carry on with the name Shyamananda." Noticing that Dukhi Krishnadasa's name and style of tilak had, for reasons unknown, be changed, the Vaishnavas naturally began to discuss this strange development amongst themselves. The news finally reached Ambika Kanna. When he heard of the seemingly unauthorized behavior of his disciple, Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu was unsettled and angered. He immediately set out for Vrindavan. Arriving there some months later, he let it be known he wished to see the rest while Dukhi Krishnadas, Shyamananda came and offered his prostrated obeisances at his Gurudev's lotus feet. Seeing his disciples Tilak, Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu was enraged and exclaimed, "Your conduct towards me is completely abominable." He continued to chastise him and eventually even began beating him. The Vaishnavas finally managed to restrain and pacify him by offering various explanations on Shyamananda's behalf. Shyamanand simply tolerated it all with an unfaded countenance and continued to serve his Gurudev faithfully. That night, Sri Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu had a dream in which Sri Radha Thakurani appeared in a very severe mood. She rebuked him by saying, "I am the only one who, being very satisfied by Dukhi Krishnadas' service, changed his tilak and his name. What do you or anyone else have to say about it?" Hriday Chaitanya Prabhu prayed for forgiveness at the lotus feet of Sri Vrajeshwari and considered what an offender he had become. The next morning he called for Shyamananda. Taking him in his lap, he embraced him again and again in great affection. With his eyes brimming with tears, he repeated, "You are so fortunate, you are so fortunate." Hare Krishna.